Do I need to move it a bit? A lot of meat.
A lot of meat.
No, no.
That's a lot of meat.
No.
Hi, friends!
And welcome to Wives vs. World, where we have fun talking about queer stuff and life as a trans cis lesbian couple. I'm Jackie.
I'm Anya. And today we want to talk about why we use the label lesbian, even though that may not be technically correct. Isn't that like a super dated reference by now?
I'm a super dated person.
Yeah.
And I hear that he is not a good person, so maybe...
Stop talking about Tim Allen.
How can I?
I want to start out this conversation by saying that I don't actually think that labels are that important. I think they're a really good thing to have to find like-minded people and to find a sense of security within yourself and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that... I think the last thing a label should do is limit you. I don't think a label need to describe all your facets unambiguously for you to use that label and to find your home in that label. I think labels should be there to find like-minded people and find representation, but I'm not here for gatekeeping labels. I don't really think it's anyone else's place to have an opinion about what labels fit another person. I think every person should get to decide what label fits them. And I hate all the policing, the label policing that is in the queer community. Yeah, so I just want to say that.
Yeah, I think it's funny how as you say, it can like create community, but at the same time it can also create gated communities where you have to be a certain amount of something, or you have to be a gold star status something to be a true whatever.
Don't gatekeep labels. If someone identifies as something, like, just accept their definition of it, I guess. Like,
I see it as something that's there to help you live your authentic life and not like a checklist that you have to live up to or else.
Exactly. And I think that's the foundation for this conversation.
Yes.
Also in real life there have been really few instances where these labels have actually been important, where anyone has cared what my true label is. We throw the label lesbian around a lot, especially when referring to us as a couple. We call ourselves a lesbian couple. We do that in our intro.
We say trans cis lesbian couple.
We do.
We could go trans cis-ish sapphic queer constellation between two entities of like-minded interests, but it gets long.
Yeah, it gets kind of long.
But why do we do that? Like, why do we use the term lesbian if we know that it's maybe not the most fitting?
Mostly I call myself queer because I just think that's the perfect unambiguous term to describe my feelings about my sexuality and gender identity that I don't really want to necessarily put into really rock solid boxes.
No, I agree. I think queer just lets people know that you're a bit bendy as opposed to straight.
Exactly. And they can try to figure out what that means. But I actually do identify as a bisexual person, and I usually put in the caveat that to me the definition of my type of bisexuality is that the gender a person has just doesn't have anything to do with my attraction to them.
That's me.
And if you think that sounds a lot like pansexual, you're right. I like the label pansexual a lot, and I use that sometimes as well. But there's a lot of like queer people who don't like the label pansexual because they think bisexuality already encompasses that.
Are you one of those people?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Because I while I think that's true, I also think that bisexuality can be defined in a lot of different ways. And some people, that they are more like they are into usually men and women because they are men and women. And I just, that isn't my understanding of my attraction to other people at all. So that's why I kind of sometimes don't like the label bisexual. Yeah, so I call myself all sorts of things. And I do the whole biracial thing to myself a lot by calling myself a lesbian. But honestly, I just don't really care. I try to say it when it's relevant, but a lot of the time it just isn't, and that's a lot of the reasons why we use the label lesbian a lot.
Lesbian in our case becomes like a catch-all of like, well, we are in a sapphic lesbian two women presenting kind of couple, But if we had to catch all the nuances and be like, well, bisexual and bisexual with like, you know, a 5% chance of swinging some way. And
also demisexual.
Also demisexual, so only if I know you well. It's too long.
Yeah, it's too long.
It's more accurate, but it's too long.
So the three major reasons why we use the term lesbian and not all other sorts of labels are that for all intents and purposes, people out in the real world, they see us as a couple. They
should. We are.
They hear we've been together for 14 years. Out in the real world, we are perceived as a lesbian couple. And that's fine with me. Like 99.9% of people don't need to know what my actual sexuality is. And in our case, people will see two women together and assume that they are lesbians.
Or assume that we're sisters or cousins, or...
Yeah, that's much more frequent, actually. We've been in the same relationship, committed relationship with the same woman for over a decade. Like, lesbian is fine to me.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter to other people whether I'm a lesbian or not.
No.
So if I am in a conversation where my sexuality comes up, it's usually only important in regards to my relationship with Jackie. So the second reason is that I don't really care much about the label. Anything that is queer adjacent is kind of fine with me, honestly. And I throw all kinds of labels around with reckless abandon.
Do you remember, is there saying something like labels are for food, not for people, or something like that? I kind of agree. I know it's really lame, and I know labels are so empowering, and I think they are as well.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's also like at some point...
It isn't that important, okay? Like, sometimes. And I changed the label depending on the context of who I'm talking to and, like, what the context is. And overall, I like the all-encompassing and vague descriptions of gay or queer better. It just has a good ring to it. It's easy, it's quick. I identify with memes about gay things. Even though I'm bisexual, I still go like, haha, that's me about a lesbian meme, you know?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean like, oh, this post isn't for me because this is about lesbians, or... Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It just has a good ring to it, you know?
Yeah.
It's easy to say like, yeah, I'm gay.
And it's a catch-all. It's like... Everyone knows what it means. Everyone has like an opinion about it, good or bad. And it's just like, you can get much more in people's face in a, I don't know, like a fun way. Just like, yeah, I'm gay.
Yeah.
Like something that I hated back in the day was people saying that's gay or something. But I really like how like the community has sort of reclaimed it. Like that you can see as a... Gay. Like be like, I know, right?
I know, I am so gay.
Like that guy from Community was like, gay. Like I love that so much because he used it to describe so many facets of my life.
So that was my whole shebang. You also use the label lesbian.
Yeah.
And it maybe fits you a little bit better, but it's still not entirely accurate, right?
No, it's not the whole story. Maybe the truth is that I am the truth. I'm coming out as bisexual. Like I am bi in the same way that you are, but my preference is with like things that are feminine of center, I guess would be the term. Oh no.
We're getting visitors.
Well, oh no. So maybe that's more accurate. As I mentioned before, I'm also demisexual in this case. So there is a part of me that is only attracted to people that I know, in the same way that like gay people are not attracted to every one of their shared gender. I'm not attracted to everyone I know. Just I have to know someone before I can actually start liking them. So in essence, I really prefer queer as a label because it's all encompassing. It's kind of mysterious. You don't really know what it means. It just means I'm a bit weird in a couple of different ways, which I much prefer. I guess that's my story. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. It's been real good.
Yeah, but we will continue calling ourselves a lesbian couple. It's what it's.
It's what it's. We hope you liked this video, and if you did, you can subscribe for more.
It's true.
We try to upload every Sunday. I think we're sort of getting a hang of it soon. And if you want to be sure to get notifications whenever we upload, you can hit the bell icon and it'll go ding-a-ling-a-ling and you will get a notification, hopefully.
If you miss us in the meantime, you can find us on Instagram. Come say hi. We hope to see you next time. Bye! I, Anya. I call myself a lesbian sometimes, but much more often I call myself gay. And I call myself that a lot.
Can you start all your sentences like that?
I, Anya, declare that you must give me a kiss. Thank you. Lord, Anya.